Hey guys, sorry for the inconveniences. This is not the actual time. We are supposed to do the class. Let me see, send an apology message. Okay. I'm very sorry for I actually slept on. I'm so tired, but I actually need to still take the class. So it will not be a kind of since we are is a YouTube live stuff and it's going to be stored for us. At the end of the day, to still go through it. So I will not want to retake the class, maybe shift the class. I prefer we take it. Maybe when you guys wake up and see it, you can still go through it on your own. So the last time we talked about numbers and we are able to do a lot of numbers. We saw some functions. The main reason we are taking these in chunks by chunks. Some person might look at it, why not take 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours? But the main reason I'm taking in chunks by chunks so that you guys can easily flow and see the process and not okay when you take the numbers, after numbers you go to you're not done practicing numbers, you go to string and all that. So we are just going to touch four basic, which is we are going to touch objects which we have touched, numbers, string, array, and basically some other little aspects. Then we'll go to DOM. That is when I start saying what we are supposed to see and start doing. But what I'm going to be doing now from today is I'll just get because like I will just get I will say it on the platform. I will get tax, daily tax, I will drop it. It's for your own good to do it. Why I'm dropping it is so that you can uh get used to algorithms. Some persons don't really like writing algorithms. Some persons feel let's just go straight to the main deal, to know how to use DOM and go straight to arrays and go straight to React, which is good, but which will affect you in the future. The main reason why some persons are getting tired of programming, one big reason, and because their background is not that sound. And one thing is programming gets updated regularly. So if your background is not strong, you can't really keep up with the flow of updates, especially when you're in JavaScript. You can't really keep up with the series of updates coming in day by day. And once these updates come, what you have maybe what you did last 2 months might get an update this month. And once you go and start want to use that particular stuff, you will now see that you'll now be seeing message of this has been updated. You have to you might get frustrated because at that point you're already trying to stand in programming, which is you're not really strong. You're not really strong. You always copy code. ChatGPT is there to help us copy the code. But at this point, once the update comes, ChatGPT might not really get that update. So you have to go to the documentation and read. And when you are reading the documentation, maybe this is a kind of something you have not really done a lot on, and you are reading documentation, you now see that you're not really getting it. So it's always good. And one big reason again for getting solid ground on the foundation is that you can easily switch to other programming language because they are kind of similar. And once you switch to a tougher programming language and you are not strong in this one you have, it will be a burden. You might not really get sound there. You might not even complete it. When you get a solid, like I'm currently switching to, I'm currently learning a new programming language. I'm not really finding it that hard to switch. I actually learned Python. I did not find it that hard to switch. Actually, and currently I'm learning a new one now. I did not really find it that hard to switch. I actually learned that Flutter on my own. I did not really find it that hard to switch. I'm just giving you guys the breakdown why it's necessary for us to do all this, going through numbers, going through this. The best time I look at it, why are you going through all this? It's not a waste of time. I did not really look at it that hard to switch because there are some things I will just look at, I already know. I also went to write an algorithm on. I saw an algorithm on Python. Actually did it, and I passed it. I have not really done that before, but when I picked it, I passed it because really I saw that the question they were asking, and I saw the what they gave to me. I actually figured out what I need to do because I'm already stronger in JavaScript. I have a solid background in JavaScript. In terms of writing algorithms, I'm stronger. So I did not really find it that hard to switch to any programming language. So getting a solid background, I'm just giving you guys an advice before going to what we have today. Getting a solid background is very, very important. Not looking at it like it's not necessary. It is very, very necessary. They that put it there had a reason for putting it there. Just that this present generation is all looking at it. Let's just jump. Let's just jump. You will jump and you will not grow. So let's go to what we have. We stopped somewhere. So we are going to be talking about strings. We actually did numbers, and the next one we are going to is arrays. Then after we are done with arrays, I will start giving you guys algorithms steady. I'll be copying and be pasting on the good for us to write. It's for everybody's good. It's for everybody's good. So uh we'll be talking about also the structuring. There are some things we'll be talking about. We'll talk about objects, keys, and variables. Then we'll talk about the structuring. So that is where we are going to store and go straight to DOM. I might show you guys some things, but it will come in when we are doing DOM. I'll feel that is what we are going to do. We write a project with DOM after I've explained about with DOM. And then we'll go straight to React. I think that is it. So write like two projects with DOM, then we'll go straight to React. Then we are done with the program. Let's not worry, it's going to be fun. We are going to finish it. So let's touch string. By next week, we'll touch arrays. And next upper week, which will complete this month, we'll touch some other things. Then we'll go straight to DOM next month. Then after we are done with DOM next month, before we are going to finish DOM next month, we are going to, or maybe we'll finish DOM next month, then next upper month, we'll go to React. Think I just want us to finish this and I want us to get the proper knowledge of what we are doing. So I've not started sharing my screen, sorry. Just I've started sharing my screen. So these are strings, which are also primitive data types. So strings. Now in strings are similar in all programming language. Like put it in your mind, but except one that I have seen, and I saw a whole lot about strings that we need to know, which is for Rust. Like I actually started learning Rust, but raw string is entirely different from what I knew. Or for the fact that I'm solid in programming language, like in programming, let me not say programming language, in programming, I actually saw it, though it was studious somehow, but I still have to conquer it. So let's, oh, yeah. So so let me create another one called strings. Objects. So import it here. So strings. So we need to know that strings are collections of characters. That is one thing we need to know. They are collections of characters. Now, when you mean collection of characters, so characters are alphabet letters, not just alphabet letters. Numbers can be a character and all that. So strings are collections. We have ASCII, and we have UTF-8. But UTF-8 is a different kind of string. UTF-8 are a combination of 8 bytes. So which makes it, that is what Ross is kind of using. Which makes it totally different from what we actually begin to know about string. So JavaScript makes it lighter, which I would advise us to learn properly. So we actually need to go through it on our own when we are less busy. So let's see, let's use constant, which is a variable string, my name. Let me use my name. My name equals to Joshua AGK. So this is my name now. And if you look at it, my name equals to Joshua AGK. Now, if I want, let's say I console.log it, console.log my name. So let me run this loop, strings.js. So you can see my name, which is Joshua AGK. So my name now has that Joshua AGK attached to it. So let's see what that things that string can do for us. So you can either use a double quote or a single quote to, or a backtick. A backtick is unique. A backtick can make you write, can allow you to write a code. Let's say for instance, I have first name. The backtick aspect is unique, which is what I use often. Last name. Okay, so let me cut this out. First name. Let me use. Let me just do full name. Okay. So you can either use, maybe use first name plus space last name. I'll take this. I'll put here. I'm just coming. I want to explain something for us. So if you look at it now, we have first name and last name. So let me comment. Let me copy this out. In terms of programming, you have to be a fighter to stay on top. Like now, the only way to guarantee your fighting speed and your fighting energy is when you learn it the proper way, regardless the time. One thing I would advise you, which my elder brother used to advise me, trust the process. If you don't trust the process and trust money, you will lose it. Trust the process. I have learned to trust the process. The process pays than just jumping to making money. I got somebody said, okay, I should build a work for him, and I want to learn this very fast, and you just learn it very fast. You go to go and you just enter and you are doing okay, that this part is paying well, mobile is paying well, but web is not paying well. Oh, I jump to mobile, web is paying well, mobile is not paying well. I jump to mobile, I jump to web. My brother, trust the process and stay one place. If you are good with PHP and you are not sound with it, go back there and be sound before coming back to JavaScript. If you are good with Python and you are not sound with it, and you feel you have done a lot with on Python and you are started seeing your way in, go back there and complete your way. But if you see yourself, your future in JavaScript, make sure you learn it the proper way and trust the process. That though it might take long for me to learn it properly, but it will pay me than when I don't trust the process. So trusting the process is key for me. And so now let's continue. So you can see that backtick actually solve the process of writing plus plus. So let's see it and let's write the code and see. So you can see you can actually embed so many things on with backtick, which is a template string. So backtick is always good for me. I always use it often and it's good for me. You can write a code inside of a backtick as far as you have this dollar sign. As far as you have this dollar sign, I can write a code here. Let's say for instance, I can still say, let me just use this word. As I always use backtick rather than using normal plus, but sometimes I still use normal plus. 2 plus 2. So let's see. So you can see 4 there. Let me increase my. So you can see 4 here. So that is it. That is why I say backtick for me is okay than normal, and we call it template string. And so you can see many companies using it on their code now than before. So we'll go. Mhm. So when you put this slash n, it means go to a new line. Let me put it here. Let me put it here, and let's run the code, and you will see. It means go to a new line, and you can see it. It actually jumped to a new line. Let's see it again. So before you can see that we have 4 illustrated keyboard. Now you can see that the 4 is on top because the break line actually broke it. And once you put inside the string, it actually used to break the line. So let's go to uh, methods of a string. This is where the main thing comes into play. This is where we are going to do a lot. We're going to write some things, and I'm going to give you guys a classwork. I'm going to find something concerning strings, numbers, and objects, and I'll paste it for us to just write. Don't worry, we are still going to go to our we are still going to go to our what is it called? Oh, let's see. I might post it for us to do. Okay, okay. I'll paste it and I'll still paste it on our dashboard for us to be doing. So I'll be pasting regular assignments for us to be doing on our dashboard. So we'll just do it and get used to it. So I think that will be okay. So the first method we're going to be talking about is length. Now, which is I can look at the length of this string. You can see there are many methods. But let's look at the ones we could. We're going to try and touch all of them today. Length, length of a string. So once you put dot length, what does it do? It actually gives you the length of a string. So you can see we have 15. So the length of this string here, from here down to this place, is 15. So that dot length actually counts the strings, counts the characters and the space in the string, and just give it to you as the length of the string. So if you count it yourself, you see the same thing. But what it does, it actually do a kind of great job for us by just counting it and giving it to us the way we are supposed to see it. So you can see that that is what dot length does for us. It checks the length of the string and give it to us. So let's go to the next one. So we can actually access strings. Now, not just this, I can still say I want to access the so let me just go to the next place. Console.log full name. Let me look for the third characters, the third character in that full name. So the way it's being counted is counted zero. Zero means if you use zero here, it means the first character. So if I do this now, you see that I'm going to get the first character, which is 4, because I did 2 plus 2, which is 4. You can see it down here. You can see it here, which is 4. So if I want to get the second character, which is 1, so it's going to give me nothing. Now, why did it give me nothing? It's telling you that it is an empty space that is there. If I want to look at the second one, so it's still telling you that it's an empty space, which is a break line. Now, if I want to look at the third one, let's see. So you see what I'm saying? So we're not seeing J. Are you getting? So we're not seeing J now. If I want to look at the fourth one, the fifth one, because third means the fifth one, I'm going to get J O, which is, if you look at it here, J O, continuously like that. So that is the way to access each character in a string. But I can still get the uh last character from here. Can just do get this one very well. It's very important. I can still get the last character. Since I have uh full name dot length. Now, full name dot length will give me 15, which is a number. And I'm using number. Once I put a number here, if I put 10, it gives me, if I put 10, it gives me a particular stuff in the string. It gives me a particular what character in the string. So I can still put few full name dot length, which will give me a number. I can still put it here inside this angle bracket. And watch what will happen. It gave me undefined. Why did it give me one undefined? Why am I getting undefined? Because we are counting from 0 and dot length is counting from 1. So that's for we did full name angle bracket 0 to get 4. In dot length, what does it do? It starts that as 1. So the only way to know the last character is to do what? -1. So this full name dot length -1 is saying 15 minus 1, which will give us 14. Now we can easily know that E is the last. You can see it here. E. You can see the E is the last. Now, if we go and say, okay, this is 14, let's use 14. There are many characters, including if I add anything here, it's 14 now will not work if I add anything. But for the fact that I have used full name angle brackets, full name dot length -1, it will still give me the last. You can see I'm still getting the last character, which is L. Let me put capital letter Z, and so we'll see it. I arranged capital letter Z, and I'm still getting it. My code did not change, and I'm still getting it. So this is the proper way to look out for the last character in a string. This is the most efficient way. If you do it this way, no matter how you extend your length of the string, no matter how you increase the string, it will not change the code. It will not change what you have done. So this is a kind of a strong advice on this code. And I just explained that we can put numbers here. This means if I do future.length, which will give me a number, it's still possible I can put it there. But the problem is, it starts count future dot length of a string starts counting from 1. While knowing the index of a string starts counting from 0. So for me to see the difference is just 1, 0, 1. So for me to get the proper ending, I need to use -1 to get it. So that is that for length and indexing of string. So we can still do things like that. But art will use normal. Let me just show. So we will see strings dot art. So it will still give us the same thing by just using angle brackets. You can see it here. Z. You can see the same thing. Whether you use angle brackets or you use the method dot art. So either you use this, we call the angle bracket, or use the dot art. So that is it. So whichever one that works for you, you actually go with it. Whichever one that works for you. If if dot art work for you, fine. If angle bracket 0 works for you, fine. Whichever one. You can see we can use minus to go through the behind. I don't know. So whichever one that works for you, fine. So we can use minus to go through the end. So these are what we does not work. Those things does not work. I'm just trying to go straight to the main things that we need. And also we can convert is we can still convert a string to either capital letter or small letter. How? Let me say console.log full name dot to uppercase. Dot to uppercase means capital letter. Now this is very important. Dot to capital letter, dot to uppercase, sorry, which is uppercase to uppercase is a to uppercase is a method to convert a string to capital letters. So full name dot to lowercase is a method to convert a string to lowercase, which is small letter. So if I do this, you will see that we are getting capital letter here and we are getting small letter throughout here. So now, what am I trying to advise us on this? Now, what I'm trying to say that this method, like especially this method to lowercase to uppercase, now basically use it. We normally use it very well to actually create that similarity. Now, let's say for instance, you're a front-end developer and you're actually giving a code to actually check, always check if a name is equivalent to, or maybe let's say an error statement, token expired. Now that the token expired is a string that it will come for you. Now, let's say for instance, I want to always check it whether uh to token expire is equal to token expire. Now, for me to not to start asking the backend, how did you write your token your token expire? Because in terms of checking the equivalent of a string, you actually need to. Okay, let's just do it. Let's just write it in the code so you will see. We'll see what we are saying. Console.log. Sorry, constant. Token equal to token. Now you can see token expires. Now let's take for instance. Now I want to check now if token is equal. So looking at this, I might want to say, okay, the person might likely wrote it like this. Expires is if token is equal to token expires like this. Now console.log token else console.log wrong. Now let's run it. So you can see I'm getting wrong because they are not equivalent. But if you use just single, which is wrong, not to use for a strict something for a strict stuff like this, you might get you are okay, I'm still even getting it wrong. So you get so now for me to want to start asking question, how did you write it to? How did you do it to this and that? What I would do basically, I'll just do convert this to either to lowercase or to uppercase, and just turn this totally to lowercase. And watch what will happen. So you can see we are getting token expires. So whichever way the person tweak his token expire, you don't really need to start bother yourself. As far as he has told you, this is how I'm bringing it, token space expire. Fine. Don't bother again. Make sure you do dot to lowercase or dot to uppercase. Whichever one you are doing, make sure the representative is in the other aspect. I can see dot to lowercase and I'm using lowercase all through. If I'm using dot to uppercase, I'm going to use uppercase all through here. And so that no matter what he's writing, it's actually why I wrote my own. N is capital letter P. No matter what he's writing, maybe he likes ties or whichever one, you will still get what you're supposed to get. So that is that for uppercase and dot to lowercase. So so we want to talk about index of. Now, index of a string, let's get this properly. Most of the method you're going to be seeing in string, you're still going to see them uh in what's it called? Most of the method you're seeing in string, you're still going to see them in arrays. So get used to it now. So that when once you get there, you will not struggle trying to get to it. So when we talk about index of, let's say for instance, I'm looking for the index of okay, I actually added something here to this string. Let's say for instance, I'm looking for the index of this in full name. So let me go down constant index state. So let's say for instance, full name dot index of. Okay, dot index of this, and let's see, console dot log this is 7 space. And let's watch the last one. Okay, sorry. Let's see if some person actually joined. So this has not been shared. Okay. Okay, let's continue. So you can see we have 32. The index is 32. Now, there's something I want to explain about index of, which is something that we need to know, we ought to know. So when you're talking about index of, there's some things you need to put in your mind. There are some things you need to put in your mind. What are they? Now, there are things like, there are things like, how will I put it? There are things like, if what you are looking for the index Maybe you're looking for index of 2, TO. Now, if TO has appears in your code multiple times, maybe let's say for instance, Joshua is a boy. I'm trying to figure out something. Okay, let me use this word. Uh, Constant statement because I want to go home to see my mommy. So let's look for the index of this and let's put 2 here. So CO appeared 2 times. What will happen? So it appeared at the seventh point. And let me give you on that. Okay, let's do last. Okay, no, let's not do last index of. So does it mean it's only at the seventh point we can find TO? No. Let me remove this 2 here and see what will happen. So you can see at the 15th point, it still appears. So what it's trying to tell us is, if you are coming from the front, which is index of, you are going to anywhere you meet TO, that is where it will count. It will not, whether TO appear 100 places, it will not go to the next place to count. It will only count the first attempt or the first meet of TO. Now, let me do another thing. Let's see another example, which is last index state. So let's say statement dot last index of. So last index of now starts from the back to count. Now let's see what will happen. So in console.log last index of, I just put last seventh space. So so you can see we have 7 and we have 18. For the last index of it's going to start from the back. And any first attempt it meets, it counts that one. It does not go again. For the index of it starts from the front, and any first attempt it meets, it stops there. It does not go again. So this is what we need to know about index of and last index of. The position is what it counts. So how many minutes have we spent? Okay, 45. I don't really want to bog us with a lot. There are a lot of method we'll meet here. As let's see, you can see the last index of. I will still start with, end with. I will stop here. The next on Tuesday will complete because we still have splice, we still have join, we still have slice, split, we still have split, we still have splice, we still have substring, we still have substring, str, we still have a lot to cover. And for us to go 2 hours, I feel it's going to be bulky on us. So I would not want to go further. We'll just stop here. And in our next class, we'll continue our string and we'll deal with string till the end. So thank you guys for joining today's class and for taking time to look at today's class. I seriously appreciate, and I'm sorry for coming late. When our next class, we'll do justice. So you can look at this, you can look at the code very well. You can see we did not really go much. take your time and go through the ones we have. You can go to javascript.info, study the ones we have done, and you can study the other ones. When we come, we'll deal with it properly. So thank you guys. If you have any question, you can ask.